Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and I'm back here with weekly update number 25. And let's get into it. So we'll start off today with the week in review. So week in review is a section where I talk about stuff that happened this week. Not a ton of things, but the two things that I have to talk about are both I think really interesting. So first off, on Saturday I got an email or a message sometime late morning, I think. And apparently somebody's challenge coins were stolen. So, of course, this is the one time I don't have one. I'm going to grab it. So, this is the challenge coin I'm talking about. I've been holding these up during a lot of these videos because they're amazing. And apparently somebody had their coin stolen in transit. The envelope was torn open. It was a locked mailbox, like a P.O. box or something. So, in theory, it should have only been the post office that had access to it, so it's probably a postal worker. The post office is already working on it. They're already investigating the issue. So hopefully they find those coins, because there were 4 of them in that package. Otherwise, I'll end up replacing them. But I mention it mostly because I could use your eyes and ears. Everybody put their ear to the ground, so to speak. If you see anybody trying to resell a Mecha Warehouse challenge coin, especially a 2021 challenge coin, I'd like to know about it. Not because there's anything wrong with reselling the coins. In fact, I'd like to know about it anyway, because I think it'd be super interesting to just kind of see if they start gaining some resale value, especially some of the older coins as the business grows and the longer we kind of exist. But they do have a number on it, a serial number. See if that will go in frame here. There we go. So we know what numbers those 4 coins are that were stolen, and so if they happen to show up on eBay or anywhere else to be sold, then we can hopefully help find those coins. So I'd appreciate it if you notice any of those coins, get in touch with me, and hopefully we can retrieve them somehow, or hopefully the postal inspection service can find them. The second thing I wanted to talk about for week in review was last week's video and the whole Spider-Man mask thing. Hilarious. I enjoyed the heck out of making that video and doing that, but the response was incredible. And even better, I can read it right here, I've got it, seeing the response from Nathan himself, the individual who had made the original comment. And the whole thing was, I think, just fun all around. But he commented on the video, actually, "Wow, all right, you got me. The Gunpla I need you don't have in stock at the moment, but I promise that I shall not buy them anywhere else, and I will wait for you to stock it. I PM'd you the list of stuff I'm looking for. Thanks for being a good sport. You've made a fan." So the whole thing was good. He did PM me, or DM me, whatever. Yeah, PM, I guess is what he said. Anyway, he did get in touch with me. We're working on... we'll get those kits to him and make all that happen. And I think this whole thing was hilarious. So I'm glad that a lot of you enjoyed that little diversion there. I hope to do more funny stuff in videos going forward, because I think it's fun, and I think people like it. So anyway, just wanted to kind of touch on that, and just love kind of the turnaround story of something that seems like something negative and turning into something positive. I think is a good thing all around. Next up, let's talk about incoming this week. The Gunpla are coming. The Gunpla are coming. That's not historically accurate. Turn out. The Gunpla are about. What? I'm on a horse. And yeah. So if you just saw that, figured I would highlight the fact that this coming Monday is Patriots Day, or at least that's a holiday in Massachusetts. I don't know if the rest of the country celebrates it, but it's basically the anniversary of Paul Revere's ride. So I thought that would be interesting. But the Gunpla is coming. We've got a massive shipment, 5 pallets on the way, should be here next week. We're hoping to have it on the site for April 30th, I think, is when I'm anticipating having it in for restock. tons and tons and tons of kits, a lot of master grades, a lot of stuff people have been asking about for a while. If you're on the Discord, the list is up in incoming over there, and I'm really looking forward to this restock. It'll be good stuff. All right, pre-orders. We put up pre-orders for the first time yesterday. If you're not aware, we don't currently do pre-orders on the website, although that has become a high priority for me over the next couple weeks to try to figure out how I want to do that. But a lot of really popular pre-orders are now live. We got kind of a verbal confirmation. I'm still waiting on the official confirmation, but I got the verbal that we are getting what we asked for. So things like the new high-grade Death Scythe, the Calamity Gundam, the full mechanics kit, some of the new 30-minute mission stuff like the Spinaccio Ninja type, real grade Wing Gundam, the new Ava Unit 6, I believe. So a lot of really cool kits. If you're interested in picking one of those up, send me a message and we'll invoice you directly. We do a 10% discount by default on all pre-orders, so you can save a little bit of money. Make sure you get it when it comes in, and we always, for pre-orders, make sure that we are getting it before we go out and offer the sale. So you're pretty much guaranteed that we're not going to pull the plug on you later on. We do only have a verbal on this one, so we'll see how that goes, but I don't think we're going to use up a lot of that, and we tend to get at least some of everything, so should not be a problem. Really looking forward to those pre-orders too. There's some really cool kits in that bunch. So let's move on to restocks. So restocks this week, I didn't really expect to have anything to restock this week, and I was pleasantly surprised when our Display tool shipment showed up. So we've got a bunch of Display tools. Display stuff's always super popular. As usual, a lot of this stuff you're going to want to make sure you don't wait on. We got some more of these vices in, for example. These are really cool. These were super popular. Last time they sold out in the 20 to 30 minute window between when I put them up for restock and when this video, the weekly update video, aired last time. So if you waited for the video, they were already gone. So if we got a lot more this time. If you made it this far and you want one, I would pause right now and go look, because we might be fine because we got a lot more than last time, but I have a feeling they're not going to last the day, even if they did last the morning. We got some other, Displays known for their 3.0 nipper. This is the one that's comparable in quality and cutting to the God Hand nipper, which we actually got in stock today as well as another God Hand tool. We also got a few of the new items the Display just came out with, including the Cerebus file. I think I can open this without destroying the packaging. Yeah, so this is, it's basically, I guess it's not necessarily a file, it's really a sanding stick. So you can put the sandpaper on here and use this to file. Pretty cool tool. We've got a few of those in. We've got, in terms of other sanding tools, there are 3 different variations, including 3 colors of each, I believe, of these they're called sanding pieces is what their terminology is, but they're basically another kind of handle to put sandpaper on. There's a few different shapes. There's a curved one. There's I think a flat one and a perpendicular one, which I'm not totally sure. Is this the perpendicular one? Let me grab one. Grabbed a few. The packaging came in damaged on. So get the flat one. It's basically like almost like a trowel that you can put the sandpaper on, give you a little bit different way to hold for sanding. There is a curved variant that's got a big curve to it, good for sanding rounded pieces perhaps. And then let's see if I can open this without destroying it. I don't know if I can. Well, then there's the perpendicular one, which I'm not 100% sure what it does. It probably says in the description, but angled sanding. I think it's got a square edge for getting into some small areas, I think. And then finally, the other one is the bladeless nipper. So this is basically like a set of tweezers that is a nipper. And let's see, will that open? I don't think it will. I don't want to destroy the packaging on that one. But it's basically like a pair of nippers, but with holding edge instead of an actual blade. So a good way to hold parts instead of using tweezers. If tweezers are kind of hard to hold for a prolonged period of time sometimes to hold a piece, they'll give you a way to hold on to something a little bit better. So that's what's come in. We also got a God Hand tool. My preparation this morning is incredible. So this is the new God Hand tool that we got in. It's basically a saw blade. It looks a lot like a extending hobby knife in terms of how it's set up, but it is actually a saw blade. So good for cutting, larger pieces. I'm not sure how thick the blade is, but a good option for stuff like that. There's not a ton of hobby saws on the market necessarily, but this is an option from God Hand. So that's it for Restocks this week. Let's move on to Q&A. So Q&A is the part of the video where I answer questions from you. If you are interested in asking a question yourself, please post a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to answer it next week. I have a lot of fun answering these questions, and hopefully can give back some value in answering these questions. So let's get into it. First one up is from Sean Donovan. Q&A. If you had to live in a timeline of Gundam, which one would it be? UC, AC, etc. Secondly, if you could pilot one mech without personal detriment, like the Zero System driving you mad, which one would you choose? As always, keep rocking. So this is the first question. I've basically gotten this question before on live streams a few times, I think. This is a really hard call because almost all of them are ridiculous, right? If you lived on Earth during UC, you have basically a chance of a colony dropping on your head. Spoilers, whoops. That kind of problem, hold on. If you lived in after colony, you got to worry about, giant space lasers kind of things, like trying to destroy Earth and stuff like that. So they're all really tumultuous times. So honestly, if I had a choice, I just wouldn't live in any of them, because unless you happen to be a Gundam pilot and, I don't know, living it up, enjoying life, they're pretty crappy times to live in. It's kind of like choosing to live during the height of World War II. I don't think any of us would choose that if we had an option, considering how many atrocities and how bad that was for the world in a lot of ways. So I don't think we'd want to be a part of that. So that's kind of my answer there. I guess if I had to be in one, though, it'd probably be UC, just because there's more going on. Your odds of being able to become a pilot are not dependent on you being one of like a handful of people, or at least being one that's not just cannon fodder. And if I could pilot one mech without personal detriment, so that's a tough one. Like, I really like designs like the Heavy Arms are really practical, realistic. I don't know how he resupplied his Gundam in real life. Like, if it were real life, he's behind enemy lines, but he's somehow finding ammo. I don't know how that works, but let's go with that one for today. Okay, next questions from Hero Khan. He asks, I have a few questions because I'm not sure if you have been asked. What MS do you think deserves a PG or VRCA the most? So for that question, I don't know, there's so many kits that really deserve it. I would love to see some of the other wing designs get a VRCA or PG. I think that Death Scythe or Death Scythe Hell would probably be one of the next ones in line, considering Death Scythe Hell is the MG that got an actual regular release compared to all the other customs. So I think that would be somewhat likely and kind of deserves it. I think that'd be pretty cool. What was your favorite Gundam-related April Fool's joke you saw this year? I didn't really follow any of them super deeply. I know a lot of people got had by a few releases announcements that weren't real, like Master Grade Atlas Gundam, for example. I think some people's hearts were broken, and I think the one that caught me the most was the Flame Toys Megazord, or Megazord. That was the one that for a second I actually double took until I saw that it was just a picture and not just a drawing and not an actual mock-up or whatever. I think that one would do really well, though. I think they should take the evidence from these April Fool's jokes and use them to determine what to make next. And then finally, what do you think is the most poorly named Gundam or MS? What's the most poorly? It's not technically an MS, but I think the ball, the RB ball, gives way to too many opportunities for bad jokes, and I would not want to be a ball pilot. So let's go with that. Next question, MJRL Hobby Stuff asks, Nick, what is the most hand grenade-y kit that you've done? Can we see the carcass? Mahalo. So the most hand grenade-y kit I have built would be the MG RX-78 3.0. The detail is amazing, tons of detail parts and color separation and part separation. The parts like to fall off when posing it. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you. It's at home, and I'm at the warehouse, obviously. And I didn't really think to do the prep work to take pictures of it or anything. It looks good. It's fine when it stands on its own. Just don't touch it once it's posed. Okay, next question. David Hovik asks, hi Nick, would you ever consider carrying Gundam-related items like statues, posters, t-shirts, DVD, Blu-ray, etc.? And I think absolutely. I need to find sources. I think DVDs would do really well. Statues and posters. Statues are probably on the way, like figures and things like that. Because it's kind of similar to a question a couple weeks ago about other anime items, t-shirts, etc. I could see doing all that stuff. The thing is finding an appropriate source for all that stuff, and I just haven't been able to take the time. And like with the anime item question, a lot of these decisions come down to how to spend my capital. I've only got so many dollars to spend on inventory, and spending it on items that are untested, even though they probably would do well, is a hard call when I could spend that on buying a few more of a kit that I know is going to sell. So as I grow, I plan to do more of that stuff. It's really just a question of, do I do that in the near future or the far future based on what I have for dollars to allocate to things. All right. Next question, Jiming DL asks, thanks for the update. Quick question, how do stock shortages affect things on the business end? And what do you do to mitigate any negative effects? This is a really good question. We've been going through this the past few weeks. Not a lot of restocks because items have been, not available. We've been waiting for shipments to hit the US and stuff. And it definitely has been impactful. The biggest impact that this kind of situation has, more than anything, is that inventory drives sales. The more inventory I have, the more variety, the more of popular kits I have, the more we sell and the better we do business-wise. When I don't have items to sell, I can't sell them, people don't buy them because I don't have them, etc. The other aspect that affects is actually the minion. So with Dylan working in the warehouse now and packing orders, you might even be hearing him or see him in the background, I don't know. As we hit a lull, like it's been the past few weeks, there's a lot more time where, I schedule him to come in for X number of hours and maybe he doesn't have orders to pack for that entire window. That's fine. We've been taking advantage of it to do things like checking stock numbers, making sure our inventory matches what the website has, things like that, and trying to get ahead of stuff. But it's definitely kind of a bummer because I'm spending money on not the stuff that I want to spend money on in terms of what I'm paying him. And, it's not ideal all around. We're kind of coming to the end of that. Like I said earlier, we got the big restock on its way. So hopefully we will be quite busy for the next weeks, months, as we start getting shipments in consistently again, hopefully. And I think that is all I've got for questions this week. So once again, if you have a question you want answered, please shoot me or post a comment down below so I can answer that next week. Questions about Gunpla, about Mecha Warehouse, about myself, and otherwise, we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.